There's nothing boring about the Spanish Golden Age theater. These writers were the rock stars of their time. They wrote about love and they were political. They talk about power, freedom, identity. They deserve to have a loud voice in today's world. AURIC, Songs from a Golden Age, is a geek theater show because we are using experimental music mixed with a Spanish Golden Age poetry. So basically I started working in this show last summer. I was at home listening to my music and I realized that there are so many echoes and references from the music we listen to nowadays that remind me of the Spanish Golden Age. I translated a few texts and I met this gentleman here, Archie Astier, and I sent him my writing and you liked it. Yeah.
Straight away. We met to do like a quick rehearsal and I think in one rehearsal we did like 2 or 3 songs like straight away. So it has been a very natural process, I think.
Oh, wretched me. Oh, miserable me. Heavens themselves I would question. Why would you treat me like this? What was my foul mortal sin? To be born was my transgression. Now I see in this bleak passion, man's greatest crime is to be. For man is condemned as he sees the first light of this dull world, and the justice of its law, as he is born, sentence him. So I ask you, heavens, tell me, apart from the great sin of life, what else I've done in your eyes, that you forsake me like this? What destiny waits on me? What do you punish me for? If all creatures free are born, why is this prison my home? What privilege others hold that I haven't been worthy of? Birds are free. The bird that sings and that with no effort flies, cutting the frames of the skies by only shaking his wings, challenging all of the winds, leaving the warmth of his nest to become horizon's guest, taking his ethereal road. And with a more complex soul, must then my freedom be less? Beasts are free. The beast that roars and grunts with a savage nature, made of bone and flesh, a creature, whether a hog, hound, or horse, used by man in all his wars. Brutes are timed by human need, their instincts turning cruelty. Beasts don't rule in their own force. And with a drive better more, why my freedom less should be? fish are free. The spawn that breathes where the tender seaweed float under the hull of the boat. Water lives and water breathes. When from wave to wave it speeds, measuring the mighty sea, tasting its profundity to its depth, so dim and chill, and with so much freer will, why my freedom lesser should be. Streams are free, those silver snakes that to the rivers give birth, feeding the veins of the earth with a crystal that never breaks, and with a song that awakes the flowers to every season, like some benevolent demon pouring new paths on their way. And with a life that awaits, why cannot I have my freedom? Thinking of this, I do feel a volcano in my chest. I could pluck from out my breast, bit by bit, my burning me. For what justice can decree, sentence, repress and deny freedom from a life like mine? A sweet gift which is bestowed to the crystal stream that flows, to fish that swim, birds that fly.
What was really easy and very natural was the structure of the text. The way it's written, you kept that. But then in terms of the music, the way I wanted to create this music was, I think, first of all, the guitar was kind of an obvious choice for me. But not only the guitar, like I wanted to keep this very organic, to stay in the meditative a bit kind of vibe. Yeah, using a lot of body percussion, a lot of voice. I'm looping a lot of my voice, so I'm using this machine called Loop Station. It's like allows me to loop as many sounds or instruments or anything I want to loop. So body percussions actually, loads of voice. I'm looping your voice. Trying to give in the modern music kind of vibe a lot of different styles, a lot of different genre. But again, it depends on the text, which was like, this one is only about voice because it's only organic, so only using your body to make sounds. And the other one, it's definitely a rock song. And just like, let's make it a rock song and let's not hide it.
To depart, and by the act of living to stay, to go soulless, bearing another's soul alone, to listen to the echo of a mermaid's song, and keep the shore, unable to turn away.
quedarse con quedar partirse, partir sin alma e ir con alma ajena, oír la dulce voz de una sirena y no poder del lado desasirse. To embark on adventure with no clear aim, making towers of sand for too long, to be a fallen fiend who's done no wrong, and joyfully embrace the sweet sour pain, caer del cielo y ser demonio en pena, y de serlo jamás arrepentirse. To deny what's true and its contrary, speaking to yourself when you're alone, to test your patience and your faith, calling eternal what is temporary, hablar entre las mudas soledades, pedir prestada sobre fe paciencia y lo que es temporal llamar eterno, creer sospechar y This we all know as loneliness of the soul, fire of the spirit, and hell in a life's breath.
As a composer, if someone is giving you meanings and a background and all those stories that are in the Spanish Golden Age is food, like to create this music in this environment, how do I put a modern version into those texts that are like hundreds of years old? And it's it was really stimulating, and
Yeah. Then our first R&D, so the first time we performed in front of an audience was a year ago. It was the 24th of November 2019, a year ago already. A lot has happened. And that was an amazing experience. That really helped us to get feedback, and the feedback was really positive. Everyone was really happy and inspired.
She shines without limits and with no control. Before her, the great power is undone. She satisfies the eyes and steals your soul. The clothes, the precious jewels that adorn her ears, her neck, her hair, and endless limbs compete with the golden spark of the sun. She influences the tides and the winds, diving into the deepest of the seas to give birth to the rivers and the springs. She knows the remedy hidden in weeds, in all flowers, trees, fruits, and in all stones. They offer her their virtue and their seeds. The holy love offers her its chastity, the bitter war, its rigorous victories, the sweet peace, its tasty quiet mystery. The sun reveals to her the untold stories, invites her into his own burning chamber to celebrate their pure celestial glories. He tells her about all that he remembers, his inclinations and his true destiny, his pasts, his dreams, his fears, and his hard labor. She knows it all in its great complexity, and she has everything, and she needs none. She is full and empty. She knows no enemy, for no one can hurt her. She knows no harm. She shares the room of the soul and of the mind with the divine and moral philosophy. She paints the day in the middle of night, where darkness seems the brightest honesty, and transforms daylight into silent dusk. The flow of the floods she takes to ecstasy. She rules among the streams and waterfalls. She reduces wild fury to gentleness and reconciles opponents without laws. She gives and takes their weapon and caress. She opens all the secrets but to close them. In her there are no limits, no defense. Look at her closely, see the purest gem, and witness the abundance of excellence. Nothing to hide, to fight or condemn. In her, there are no fears to be cleansed.
"2020 started and it got complicated."
Yes.
But we wanted to carry on working, and we wanted to make sure that our work was going to reach new audiences, and we wanted to carry on growing as a project.
Definitely.
So we thought, okay, what can we do? And then we had this idea of starting a Kickstarter campaign to record an album, which was successful, and the album is almost ready now. One of the rewards from our campaign in Kickstarter was a book that we have created in collaboration with the designer Maya Goldstein. It holds the original Spanish Golden Age texts that I took as an inspiration to create my own writing and my own poems. Here is one of the illustrations. This one has some notes on it because it's the first edit. But yeah, this is beautiful, the back. We are really happy to have this among our work.
So can you imagine, like, our idea was actually like a multi-sensorial experience, kind of. So like,
yeah.
So can you imagine like you're reading the book, so Spanish Golden Age poetry, Paula's text, listening to the music, to the album, light a little candle, have some tea, like, and then happy days, a little fire on the fireplace.
Sounds good to me.
Esos rasgos de luz, esas centellas que cobran con amagos superiores, alimentos del sol en resplandores, aquello viven si se duelen de ellas. Flores nocturnas son, aunque tan bellas, efímeras parecen sus ardores, pues si un día es el siglo de las flores, una noche es la edad de las estrellas. Those dots of light, those burning planets that with superior manner transform the sun's nourishment into the miracle of man, hiding our mysteries and our mechanics. Those flowers of the night the orbs inhabit, ephemeral, expiring as they burn. For if flowers live of days just one, the stars take but one only night to vanish. What shock and domination do we not suffer from the good and evil in those spheres? What praise and hopes do we not offer in those fugitive, remote, glowing tears Our destinies are written kind or rougher. For man is made of stardust and of fears. Those enlightened watchers of our dreams are hanging from our perspective in verse, looking down onto us as if we were cursed, knowing better than we do of our extremes. We should attend the stars, for still it seems that in our brains we own the universe. We make ourselves and keep our promises, but only they withhold what our life means. Around that distant cosmos we are floating. Inside us there is a question and a find, but we are part of it, and we are hoping to understand the message as it shines, to find ourselves in time and space glowing, to expand the constellation of our mind.
We were very lucky actually, because throughout the summer we got to perform for Almagro International Festival as part of the Congress for Association for Hispanic Classical Theatre, and that was great because we were performing for a lot of people who are specialists in Golden Age, and they gave us amazing feedback.
That was great, yeah. And again, like giving the opportunity to people to hear those texts in a different way.
Yeah, I think the main point is that this project was born with the aim to reach those who love classical theatre, Golden Age theatre, who know about it, who will enjoy a new input on it, and also for those who have never heard about it, and actually maybe
mix those people.
Yeah, some of our friends are like, what are those texts?
Exactly.
I've never heard. Who wrote that?
Ya que quieres cruel que se publique de lengua en lengua y de una en otra gente, del áspero rigor tuyo la fuerza, haré que el mesmo infierno comunique al triste pecho mío un son doliente, con que el uso común de la voz tuerza. El rugir del león, del lobo fiero, el temeroso aullido,
el silbo horrendo de escamosa serpiente, el espantable baladro de algún monstruo, el agorero graznar de la corneja y el estruendo del viento contrastado en mar inestable, del ya vencido toro, el implacable bramido y de la viuda tortolilla el sensible arrullar, el triste canto del envidiado búho, con el llanto de toda la infernal negra cuadrilla, salgan con tan doliente ánima fuera, mezclados en un son de tal manera que se confundan los sentidos todos, pues la pena cruel que en mí se halla, para cantalla pide nuevos modos. On far high cliffs and under dark heartstone, with deadly tongue and with some living words, in earth deep places and beyond the clouds, where human contact is profoundly unknown, where the sunlight never touches the birds, or in the middle of poisonous droughts, where the beasts feed from the innocent mouths, where deserts have no end and have no source. There, the hoarse echoes of this evil song should sound with such a rigor, such a tone, that bending every second, every force, should blow and take the ear of the world. Listen to this broken, unpleasant song, and let your voice tremble and rise your cup. For though we are breathing now, we know we'll die. For though we are falling now, we will rise up. Fear is everywhere waiting for us. We live in a suspicion that is false. Honesty is a fantasy. Truth is dead. And this sad, fierce, and absurd world has been absent and slept, while growing small, with hesitations that have turned it deaf, and in the oblivion of its silent cleft. And among so many other wild torments, this world keeps seeking for hope through the shadows, desperately seeks, and with a mind so narrow that seems as if there were no unravelments, and finds no answer, no, nor bow, no arrow. The lives are rising flames, the point is shallow, and I can feel the frailty of my soul, and I can see uncertainty being certain, and I can touch the limits of this hole. How to redeem my anger, how to know whether these words I'm speaking now are wrong. I heard it in my sleep, there was a voice, but my fever is high and my calm low. There are no enough verses in this song, and there is too much light and too much noise, and now I know that I don't have a choice but
to discover all fears and doubts, all suspicions and all nightmares and myths, turning into victorious, glorious hymns, followed by the masses and the White House. Listen to your podcasts and your kings. They have the right to get into our skins and feel the slow conversion of our worries. With dexterous precision become true and let this ballad whisper of our furies.
To help us keep growing, we also hosted a few live stream sessions, and that was fun.
That was a lot of fun because at the beginning it was something like a bit official, a bit like, okay, let's do like an online gig or something like this. Then the end was just mostly filming our rehearsals and just like, and we realized that naturally we were like staying like an hour and a half, just like doing a gig, and there was
because it was so nice to have people from
so
everywhere around the world, like some of your friends, some of my friends from Spain, from France, from
Singapore, Quebec, that was super nice. There was all those online performances were very nice.
All right. Okay, so let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a little poem from Lope de Vega. Again, Lope de Vega. Lope de Vega, man.
Rockstar.
What a rock star. Okay. One sec. Noche, fabricadora de embelecos, loca, imaginativa, quimerista, que muestra al que en ti su bien conquista, los montes llanos y los mares secos. Fabricator of mysterious lies, mad, gifted, imaginative, fanciful. You show on lovers who do trust in you. The far mountains flat and the oceans dry. You carry your dominions through the skies, where thunders roar and echoes do obey. You cry your nightmares on the thin dark air and let of sweet new morning that reveals thin shadows and pale ghosts among the fields where landscapes from reality seem bright. You curse me with your proud beauty. I want to stay all silent and all still, to feel you deeper in this lonely chill. You speak no words as I perform my duty. I am blindly obedient to your will. I do not want to wake beyond your hour, for all seems better under your soft power. Your tender blanket cures me of my
I have a question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand why like translating the text was important for you. Like you living in London for quite a while now. It's a way as well for you to express your identity. But why did you feel the need to reinterpret those texts? When did you start writing your own words on top of those words?
I think the reason is because I find that these materials are incredibly inspiring and they are incredibly rich and complex. These writers were retelling ancient and medieval stories. They were adapting and rewriting these stories in their own context, like Shakespeare did. He was the main inspiration for me when translating. It was very important not to only translate, but to bring my own personal kind of point of view and feeling to these stories in order to make them accessible and relevant to the audience now. And also because I was having a great summer and I was like, let's do it. Let's just let it flow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the best reason.
to faint and to dare and to be outrageous, elusive, liberal, deadly, exultant, encouraged and detached, tender and distant, loyal, traitorous, afraid and courageous. To lack rest and focus, to feel ravenous, to be sad, cheerful, humble and arrogant, angry and peaceful, fugitive and constant, satisfied, offended, suspicious, jealous. To smiling face the clear disappointment, to drink poison as the sweetest infusion, to neglect the prize and take the punishment. To think that hell can fit the whole firmament, to give your life and soul to an illusion, to starve the reason and feed the argument. To speak to it, to breathe in strange conditions, to understand the world through a blurred glass, to hide from daylight under your dark past, to accept the challenge without restrictions. To sweat, to dream and to wake from delusions, to tell the same old tale and play the parts, to go to bed and pray for greener grass, to passionately search for some solutions. To drain your stomach to hunger and sorrow, to bite your nails, your lips, to grow your hair, to listen to songs waiting for tomorrow, to wish to find a simple sign to follow, to speak, to think, to look and care, to be a patient with a life to borrow. To feel the spell coming from the river's mist, to sing, to dance, to shout, to stop the time, to vanish and go wander for a while, to be a magician and an alchemist, to delete your name from every single list, to grow in self-esteem and touch the sublime, and fall from grace in the blink of an eye, to fantasize about being touched and kissed, to release your body in the cold white sheets, to smoke, to drink, to interrogate the night, to find new words to name nature's sweet gifts, to be happy mental, to be at peace, eternal bliss, godless, to see the light, to call the fire brigade and the police, to cancel your appointments and your diet, to be curious, nervous, present and done, to rise before the sun reaches the dawn, to work out how to rock the rocket science, to hate and to enjoy the clinking silence, to look at the predictions for Capricorn, to feel like Martin Luther King and Eva Peron, to find yourself for no reason crying, to let your senses and desires grow, to be holy, jolly like a true angel, to run, to fly, to flow with the tide flow, to whisper to the birds while the sun glows, to fear all or nothing, to court danger. This is love. If you've tried it, you would know.
it's very interesting that you were talking about the way these texts were written, because it is true that these texts are written in verse, and verse is about rhythm, and rhythm is music. You can't escape the fact that the author has used this structure and this arrangement to write these words, and that's for a reason.
That's for a reason.
So for me, in translation, it was very interesting, and it was pretty much like my most exciting challenge to try to recreate the Spanish meter when talking in English and when writing in English, and when trying, because the meter is connected to emotions. And I wanted to recreate the emotion and the landscape that was portrayed in every text, not just the words. And very important, I think, for these authors to be heard in another language, but also to be felt, to be experienced in their rhythm.
Amor, no te llame amor, el que no te corresponde, pues que no hay materia donde no imprima forma el favor. Naturaleza en rigor conservó tantas edades, correspondiendo amistades, que no hay animal perfecto si no asiste a su concepto la unión de dos voluntades. De los espíritus vivos de unos ojos procedió este amor que me encendió con fuegos tan excesivos. No me miraron altivos, antes con dulce mudanza me dieron tal confianza que con poca diferencia, pensando correspondencia, engendra amor, esperanza. Ojos, se ha quedado en vos, de la vista el mismo efecto. Amor vivirá perfecto, pues fue engendrado de dos. Pero si tú, ciego Dios, diversas flechas lanzaste, no te alabes que alcanzaste la victoria, que perdiste, si de mí solo naciste, pues imperfecto quedaste. Love, don't let them call you love, those who don't believe in you. For in all matters in truth, fancy can a deep ring curve. Nature and all gods above have been for so many ages arranging the heart exchanges, so there is no perfect animal whose birth is not attainable by the union of two strangers. The living spirits of your eyes lighten this fire. Wow. Oh, I'm getting... You go. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
The living spirits of your eyes lighten this pure love in me, and with a flaming so free that these lavish fires rise. You did not look with proud eyes. Your sweet side had no defense and gave me such confidence that with so little implied, the hopes and tricks of the mind think and read correspondence.
Yeah!
Eyes, if it had stayed with you, the same effect from my sight. Love will have a perfect life, for it was devised of two. But if the blind gods are cruel enough to miss their clear target, and your heart fruits have no harvest, then their victory is deformed. If from me only love was born, my eyes will remain in darkness. It happens.
Oh!
1 minute.
We are live in 2 channels, it's just too much pressure.
Under pressure.
It's gonna be an interesting rehearsal today, because
Yeah.
we are doing, all of the songs we're doing are new. We are more like experimenting with them than rehearsing them, so we are actually, literally, like, not playing them properly, like we don't even know what we're doing.
We kind of
I don't know what
have a rough idea, but that's about it.
Yeah, we're just gonna, we're gonna be quite crazy.
Alright, what can we see? Sorry, I'm gonna move you guys. That's what we can see.
Look, oh my god.
Oh, Inception. Whoa, deep!
I'm just to say, hey, something happened. Yes, he's smiling. We got cut right at the end, but we just wanted to go back and say thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you so much, guys, and
It's
see you
such
next
a
week.
pleasure to rehearse with you. It makes it much easier for us.
We leave this little video in the
Yes,
Instagram so
anyway.
you can see it. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I don't know about you, but I also cannot wait to perform on top of a stage.
That's kind of where we both come from. That's our background. Like
Yeah.
Theater. We are both like theater
Yeah,
animals.
animals.
So like every time we do something, we have this little like idea, like oh we
Yeah.
could do that and that. And through this project, we're like oh, and then we could do this and
Yeah.
that, and like so.
For us, that
Yeah.
would be the next natural
That's the-
step. So we have now performed live stream, we have performed in places for small audiences, and it works really well, but we now want to take the next step and perform in a theater. Gracias por estar ahí, por compartir este momento con nosotros, y estamos seguros de que volveremos a veros muy pronto, porque el teatro siempre encuentra una manera de prevalecer aún en los tiempos difíciles. Gracias.
Gracias. It's a good one too. It's gonna be difficult to choose now.
Yeah, this one for me was very emotional.